I hate these weird substitutes for names. The Noirette. I've gotten somewhat used to seeing the Brunette, but what the hell is Noirette? It sounds like dark chocolate and not like it's referring to someone's hair color. Also, both characters in this scene have brown hair. Useless epithets, my beloved. I actually don't mind those. But what the f*** is Noirette? I don't know, it sounds like a pretentious cigarette and cigar company to me. I thought this was a slur for a hot second. Am I the only one who thought this meant it was a short noir story? Like a noir novella? I read a fic where the main female character was almost always referred to this because she had black hair. It was frustrating. I'd rather see her name being overused than seeing Noirette 30 times a chapter. Especially in reader fics where they use hair color et. Like, yes, redette is not a freaking word. It sounds like I'm pretentiously trying to pronounce Reddit. Redditor. How dare you do this to me? How dare you make me read that with my own 2 eyes? You monster. Bluenette and greenette are the bane of my existence when reading. I muted the word greenette on Twitter, and all Deku fic threads disappeared. A friend sent me a screenshot of a fic ages ago where someone referred to Shigaraki as the Whitehead, and afterwards all I could think about was how he was just a giant pimple. Sometimes I'm so glad I'm not in any anime fandoms. Then again, Teen Wolf has some of the worst epithets, and they're super common. If I never see the crooked-jawed teen again, it won't be soon enough. Bluenette is a plague on the Fire Emblem fandom. I always think about the Miraculous fandom. It's worse because Marinette's hair is actually meant to be black and just looks blue due to anime logic. I saw the picture of the word first and thought it was a chat noir / Marinette ship name. Noirette. I once read a fic where one of the characters was referred to as a Ravenette. I just saw Ravenhead, and it made me picture someone with a bird's head instead of a human head. Which is extra hilarious given that raven-haired is right there. Which is also overused in Harry Potter. It's almost enough cause to make me not finish a work by itself. No decent writers use it. I'm fine when Ravenhead is used once in a blue moon. It's like finding a hidden Easter egg weeks after the holiday passed. As a Final Fantasy VII fan, the number of times I have stumbled into Silverette has done nothing to numb the pain. I'd forgive it, possibly, if referring to Yazoo and Yazoo only, because he's fabulous. But I would still squint about it judgmentally for the next few paragraphs. But if I see the word Silverette one more time while I'm trying to think about Sephiroth's boobs, I'll summon Meteor myself. There's this Hunter x Hunter fic that I absolutely love, but they keep referring to Kahlua as the Pearlette, and I just can't get past it. I'll give credit for being creative, though. Saw Magentette and Pinkette once. Cried. Same, dude. I see Pinkette and I want to scream. I saw an Auburnette once and almost noped out, but I liked the story well enough to ignore it. Baldette. One that made my skin itch is Gingerhead. Rhymes with gingerbread. All I can visualize is a literal head of a ginger root. But yes, at least it's festive. I saw an orange-haired character, whose name is 4 letters long, get called Tangerine Head in a fic. I usually can ignore epithets, but that one was so long and bad, it took me out of the fic. At least it's not as bad as something like the other male or female. Use man or woman or person, for f***'s sake. Nothing worse than reading a romance fic and reading the younger male or female. It makes it sound creepy, even if it's not. Like, bro, they're 2 years apart. Why are you emphasizing this? The Dorito. Okay, it's a fandom joke, but you don't use it in these serious contexts. I got so viscerally incensed reading these annoying epithets in fics all the time that I decided to just straight up never use any epithets in my own writing ever out of sheer spite. Whenever the urge strikes to use any kind of epithet, I simply replace it with the name of the character and continue on my merry way. Same here. It's just unnecessary to find a different word for someone's name. It's like saying, I use the word the too much. Maybe I'll find another word for it, like the or that. I swear, some people are so scared of using the same word twice, it's ridiculous. The same thing happens with people pulling out the most insane words to use instead of said that absolutely nobody knows what they mean. Sometimes the name of the character or just saying said works better. Like I always tell people, don't be afraid of repeating the characters' names over and over and over again. I love people trying to use anything but the characters' names. Shout out to that one fic that had the quadripartite tunic wearing teen or something like that. You live rent-free in my brain. I like Bluenette, and if someone mutes me for using it, well, that improves both of our lives. My relief at finally seeing a not weirdly angry about this person while scrolling down this page is a lot. I swear, this thread is making me want to specifically go out and write a My Hero Academia fic that's just chock full of hair color words. Maybe I'll give someone a quirk based on hair colors or something. If people mute or block me for it, good riddance. I love them. It's so unserious. Give me all the greenettes. Bluenette amuses me. I've used it in one fic because someone got hate comments over using it, so I put it in my next fic in solidarity. I'm lucky. Even though I read so many anime fanfics, the vast majority of authors that I see prefer to describe the appearance rather than use a single random word. Like, if it's not the basic hair color, they use it with a connection to something of the same color. The most I've seen is them writing how the character with white hair reminds them of snow, clouds, etc. As someone who reads in plenty of anime fandoms, I cry. At least when they're used, the writing is usually weak enough that I can decide not to finish pretty quickly. But occasionally, the writing isn't actually half bad, and then I'm in a quandary working out whether my annoyance over the epithets is overpowering how much I'm otherwise enjoying the fic. That usually depends on how often epithets are used and how obnoxious they are. Like the other day, I was reading a quite fun fic, but they kept using the older boy or girl for people that were in the same class. It's not a particularly obnoxious epithet on its own, but I had no idea which characters were older or younger because they're all the same age. Then they called the previously younger character the older, talking about the same two characters, and it was at that point that I threw up my hands and gave up. And throwback to that time, I was reading a fic with several redheads in a scene, and something like the ginger or the redhead was used, and there was absolutely no other context about who was talking. And those times when the author has changed the character's hair color and refers to them by their non-canon hair color. It's bad enough when I can work out who's talking from context, but these examples were just confusing. Obligatory disclaimer that not all epithets are bad. It depends how you use them. If you're just trying to avoid using a name or a pronoun, that's a huge red flag. But if there's a legitimate reason and the epithet makes sense and can't apply to 5 people in the same scene, you're probably okay. Like, I can understand the issues with things like pinkette, greenette, redette, bluenette, but for me, the problem is because the language setup is wrong. Blonde and brunette are French, so the color also needs to be in French or Latin. Rosette is already a word with an existing meaning, but roseate is a word meaning of the color rose or pink, and it works as roseate with a masculine or feminine spelling. Verdette and Bluenette spelled the French way follow the correct language setup and are more visually appealing than greenette and Bluenette in my humble opinion. And there's already any number of terms for redheads, from copper to ginger to auburn, but if a specific crimson or blood red shade is needed, why not scarlet? But I don't know, maybe too many of my fandoms do heavy color symbolism, and I think about it too much. Big thank you to my Patreon members, My Little Ruse, Kuski55, Nebulatic Vexen, Donka42, John Wong, Laser Scorpio, Night Avenger, Mintara, Somnophobic Danny, Savage Otters, Valzy, RG Laws Writer, Terabyte AIX, and Kestrel. Thank you so much for your extra support on Patreon. It means the world to me. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you again. Hope you guys are doing well. I wish you all the best. And the same goes to my YouTube channel members, my mini ruse, Taylor Thompson, Foxstar Killer, and This Person 10. Thank you so much for your extra support. I'm so glad to have you be a part of my YouTube channel. Hope you guys are doing well too. I really appreciate your extra support. Keep on being awesome as always. And thank you to everyone else for watching. I hope it was entertaining to see people's opinions on this and sparked some interesting debate for you over whether you think epithets and particularly epithets with kind of made up words like greenette and bluenette, do you think they can be okay, or are you completely against anything like that? Or do you think they should be used all the time because they're fun? I think there's a lot of different opinions, a lot of shades of gray, but the most important thing is, as long as you're writing what you enjoy writing, I think that's what matters most. If you think it's a nice word to use, I think you should use it. That's my opinion. Wear it proudly if you like using fun epithets like this, but also, it's okay if you don't like them, as long as we're all nice to each other about it. I'll see you in the next video, everybody. And until then, I wish you all the very best.